Virtual reality has come a long way from clunky headsets and pixelated games to fully immersive environments where you can explore new worlds, work remotely, or even work out in your living room. And now, all eyes are on what's next. We're talking about the Meta Quest 4, the rumored next-generation headset from Meta. While the company hasn't officially announced it, leaks, patents, and insider reports are painting a pretty clear picture of what we might expect. And from what we're seeing, it looks like Meta is preparing something big. If you've been watching the evolution of VR closely, you'll know the Quest line has been at the center of it all. From the original Oculus Quest to the more refined Quest 2 and the latest Quest 3, Meta has positioned itself as the leading force in consumer VR. But the Quest 4, this could be the real leap forward. In this video, we're breaking down everything we know so far, from potential release dates to pricing predictions, rumored features, expected performance upgrades, and more. Whether you're a VR enthusiast, a casual gamer, or someone just curious about the future of immersive tech, this is your complete guide to what could be the most advanced standalone headset Meta has made. Let's dive in. Release date, realistic expectations. One of the biggest questions right now is, when will the Meta Quest 4 actually be released? A lot of people were hoping for an early launch in 2025. That would make sense on the surface. It keeps the product line fresh and competitive, especially with Apple Vision Pro grabbing headlines and PlayStation VR gaining traction among gamers. But here's the reality. As of now, Meta has said absolutely nothing about a Quest 4 release. And if you look at how they've released previous headsets, the timeline doesn't suggest anything too soon. Let's do a quick recap. Oculus Quest released in 2019, Quest 2 launched in 2020, Quest 3 announced in 2023. There's usually a 2 to 3 year gap between major headset upgrades. Meta tends to take their time, and for good reason. Developing a new VR headset isn't like releasing a new smartphone. It involves massive upgrades in optics, tracking, graphics performance, comfort, and software compatibility. So, what's the current estimate? According to most trusted tech insiders, developers, and industry analysts, 2026 is looking like the most realistic launch window for the Quest 4. And that's not a bad thing. Why? Because the longer development cycle could give Meta more time to implement the upgrades users are demanding, like better battery life, more accurate hand tracking, and higher display resolution, all without rushing to market with something half-finished. Also, keep in mind that Quest 3 is still new. It launched in late 2023 and has only started gaining traction among consumers in 2024. Meta will likely give that product its full cycle before shifting the spotlight to something new. So if you're holding out for the next big leap, 2026 is your best bet. And honestly, that gives us plenty of time to imagine what the Quest 4 might deliver. Pricing. What will it cost? Let's move on to the next big question. How much is the Meta Quest 4 going to cost? Meta has always tried to walk a fine line between power and price. They're in a unique position. They don't just sell hardware, they sell access to the metaverse. Their strategy has always been to make their headsets affordable enough to bring in new users, and then make money from the apps, games, and experiences on their platform. That's why the Quest 2 was a huge hit. Starting at just $299, it was cheaper than most smartphones and still delivered a solid VR experience. But things changed with the Quest 3, which launched at $499 for the base model. It brought a ton of improvements, better displays, full color pass-through, and more, but also showed that Meta is willing to raise prices for better quality. So where does that leave the Quest 4? Most experts believe the base model of the Quest 4 will likely land in the $499 to $549 range. That keeps it competitive with current-gen consoles like the PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X, while still offering a clear upgrade path for existing Quest 2 and Quest 3 users. But here's where it gets interesting. There's strong speculation that Meta will release two different versions of the Quest 4, a standard model with solid specs at an affordable price, a premium model with advanced features that could push the price to $600 or more. And if you're wondering why they do that, just look at the smartphone industry. Apple, Samsung, Google, they all have base and pro versions. It gives users a choice, and it allows the company to test higher-end features without scaring away budget-conscious buyers. Now, here's another twist. According to leaks, Meta may have cancelled the Quest Pro 2, which was originally planned as the next high-end headset in their Pro lineup. If that's true, some of those premium features might get folded into the high-end Quest 4 variant instead.